Hi, you want to make your first 5K throwing parties? Today I will give away for free my 22 years of experience of pure party planning and execution. By the end of these few minutes of inspiration, strategies and tactics, you will have my step-by-step playbook of the type of thinking and planning I do to produce kick-ass parties. Know this as well: fail to plan and plan to fail. My name is Alf and I've been throwing parties for a living for over 22 years in San Francisco, California. Well, it's kind of a lie actually, because I did it as a hobby in the beginning for about 8 to 10 years. First, just because I loved it so much, seriously. Then I took it to a whole other level, becoming one of the biggest and most unique party promoters in San Francisco, if I may humbly say so. Today, I will take you from step one of how I come up with the ideas and actually execute on it, until I send the thank you notes for attending my or your kick-ass party. Are you ready? Okay, here, I'm going to give you my biggest tips and I'll break it down in chunks for you so that it'll be easier for you to do exactly the same and follow along. Okay, so let's get right to it and do it right here, okay? So let me show you this screen. So basically, coming up with the party idea is the first thing you need to do. So you want to think of something that you really enjoy doing and you think your friends would be excited about it as well. And I'll get to that in a second. But first of all, you, my friend, need to be extremely motivated and enthusiastic and excited about this party. So when I did my parties, I did parties that I like to do, that I like to be part of, that I like to create, and I would like to be invited to. So that's how I was thinking. Then I would say, okay, let's map it out in my head what I have in mind. So let me give you an example. Let's say I wanted to do a summer solstice party, a party where we celebrate the lightest day of the year. This is actually a true example too. So I would say, okay, let's think of a venue that I might want to do it at. Okay, I can kind of see that in my mind, on the water, seeing the sunset, and then having maybe 3 to 4 dance rooms. Everyone dress in white, which is going to be the required attire to get in. So it's just think about that. Everyone in white, it makes a statement too, right? Then I was thinking, okay, 2 to 3 rooms, 3 rooms maybe a live Latin band in one room, a European music in another, and maybe Persian in the other, because I knew I had ties in with those groups. So I was starting to think in that regards already then. Okay, and then I was thinking, okay. Venue is important. So I had a specific venue in mind. So that's really important. Now to go to part number 2, which is you need to find excitement in the people that you think of inviting. So I would take the concept that I've painted in my own mind and share that with some friends and say, hey, listen, would you be excited about doing something like this? I was thinking about doing a party for the summer solstice, blah, blah, blah. Then I would paint the picture in my head and I would wait for the feedback and say, okay, is that something that would excite you? Then I would listen to that feedback, or I would ask, are there other things you would think would be exciting to have there or do there that would make other people excited? That's the kind of feedback I would get and interchange in that conversation, okay? And then number 2 or 3, I forget exactly which point, you want to find a partner to do this with. Find somebody that you click with that has access to probably a different group of people, but also would be willing to step in with you and do this together. And I always suggest doing that, and especially early on, because you're so much stronger together. Okay, so that's the other very, very important point. Then I would also always map out kind of what kind of expenses and income potential would I have. So, for example, would the venue charge me a fee for renting the venue? Would there be a cleaning fee? Are there other fees with their staff that they would impose on me? Or could I negotiate, let's flip the coin here, could I negotiate a term on the bar? If I got like a lot of people there, could I get 10, 15, 20% on the bar? Am I being faced with a bar guarantee? Now I'm getting into details that's quite ahead here. That's for the following videos here. But I'm just telling you a little bit how I'm thinking. So I'm looking at my expenses of hiring the DJs, the venues, entertainers, producing the flyers, the production of the event. Are there certain things that's going to cost money? I want to have that in my spreadsheet. I want to already now start saying, okay, what is my break-even point? So then I got to go, okay, how many people do I think will get there? How many people will pay? Because there's always a guest list, a VIP list. How much can I charge? Then I start mapping out, okay, when I reached maybe 200 people or 100 people, I'll be breaking even. But also one of the biggest things that I always strive to do when I rent a venue or take over a venue, I want to know if I can pack it. Because the last thing I want to do is to have a place that holds 2,000 people and 500 people show up. Then you're dead and you're only as good as your last party. So all these planning steps and things that I'm sharing with you here comes from years and years of experience. So you're always as good as your last party. That's always been the case in this industry. So all these things that I'm talking about here, giving you some ideas, this is what I do when I plan an event, when I come up with an idea and I set a date and all the stuff. So in the next few videos to follow, I will break it down into different sections of what I do at certain levels and how I do it. So you can literally take this and produce your own event. That's literally what I'm giving you here. So if you think this is something of value to you, I'm going to throw in a little pitch here. You want to click on the link in the description and you can set up a call with me for free and just chat with me about if you're made out for doing all these kind of parties, or how can you start? Because I started with 50 people at one of my first parties. I started out with 100 at a little bar. So there's all these things that you can do to get started. Always the first step, right? But all these things that I'm going to share with you are going to be immediately useful to you in your planning and execution of this. So click the link below if you're interested in that. So we're going to go to the next video. Make sure you click. There'll be a link down here for you to click to see the next video. And that's where we'll take it from there, where I go into more of the details on executing on some of these things that we talked about now, but I'll take it a lot further. So you'll literally, have a massive amount of information and details that you can think about and check off as you go through this certain list when you start doing your parties. All right? Sounds good? Good. Click below, comment. If you have any questions here on this one, comment for sure. Make sure that you like my video, subscribe to it so that you can keep on getting information like this, which is extremely valuable. And I wish I had something like this when I started out. So anyway, enough said. Glad you showed up, and I'm so excited that you're here. Click on the link below and let's go and let's make this happen. All right? High five.